There's a certain kind of person you rarely notice right away. He isn't the one talking, he isn't the one performing, but watch him long enough and something becomes clear. He's the only one actually paying attention. This is what real intelligence often looks like. Quiet and easy to miss. Today, we're studying 6 of its habits. None of them are loud, none of them need to be. By the end, you may recognize someone you know. You might even recognize yourself. Habit 1. They let you underestimate them. Picture 2 shadows cast on the same wall. One shadow is loud, exaggerated, impossible to miss. The other is small, quiet, almost forgettable. Most people assume the loud shadow holds the power, but being underestimated removes you from suspicion entirely. And when no one suspects you, no one hides anything from you. This isn't luck, it's a position, deliberately maintained. The moment people stop watching you, you start watching everything. That's the first habit, and the most misunderstood. Habit 2. They speak in questions, not arguments. Imagine an argument as a maze with 100 walls. Most people run straight into every wall trying to force their way through. The quiet mind does something else entirely. They ask one question, and suddenly the maze reveals its own exit. A question doesn't push, it simply reframes the walls. And a mind that reframes its own walls rarely resents the one who asked. This is patience functioning as leverage, not weakness, just a different kind of force. Habit 3. They treat silence as a tool. Picture the eye of a storm, perfectly still at its center. Everything around it moves violently. The center never does. Most people are uncomfortable in that kind of stillness, so they rush to fill it, and usually they say too much. The still one says nothing and simply waits it out, because whoever breaks first usually breaks from anxiety, not weakness in the other. When the noise settles, only the still point remains standing. That composure isn't emotionless, it's earned control. That's the third habit. Habit 4. They never announce their next move. Think of an iceberg. Only a fraction of it is visible above water. Most people show the whole shape of their plan before acting on it. And once a plan is visible, it can be blocked, copied, or countered. The quiet strategist shows only the tip and keeps the rest submerged. They let their actions surface only once they're already finished. This isn't secrecy for its own sake. It's simply protection of timing and of leverage. By the time others notice the shift, it's already complete. That's the fourth habit. Habit 5. They study behavior, not words. Words are the puppet's mouth, carefully scripted, easy to control. But behavior is the string above it, much harder to fake. The quiet observer doesn't watch the mouth. They watch the strings, posture, timing. A pause held a second too long. These are the details that give away what language conceals. This isn't paranoia, it's simply attention applied correctly. While everyone else listens to what's said, they notice what's shown. That's the fifth habit. Habit 6. They release the need to be right. Most disagreements are just a rope pulled tightly in both directions. The quiet mind simply lets go of their end. Not because they've lost, but because the pull was never the point. They don't need to win the moment. They only need to be right eventually. Time moves like a current. Slow, quiet, but impossible to argue with. Eventually, the current proves what the argument never could. And by then, no explanation is even necessary. That's the 6th habit, and often the hardest one to practice. 6 habits, all of them quiet. None of them require volume. None of them require an audience. Together, they form a single quiet philosophy. Influence was never about being the loudest voice in the room. It's about being the one who's actually paying attention. If this changed how you see someone, subscribe for more. And tell me in the comments, which habit did you recognize?